What if the Ram sitting in your driveway right now could outlive 3 of your neighbor's trucks? Most Rams get traded in around 150,000 miles. Transmission problems, lifter failures, electrical gremlins. Owners give up. Mine just hit 450,000 miles. Same engine, same transmission, never been opened. The difference isn't luck. It's 7 things I do that most Ram owners don't. Stay until the end for the one thing that added 100,000 miles to my truck. It costs nothing, takes 10 seconds, and almost nobody does it. Here's exactly what I do differently. Thing number 1, oil changes at 4,000 miles. No exceptions. I don't care what the manual says. I don't care what the oil life monitor says. I don't care what the guy at the quick lube place says. I change my oil every 4,000 miles, period, full synthetic. Quality filter, every single time. No exceptions. No, I'll do it next week. No, it's probably fine for another 1,000 miles. Most people think 7,500 or 10,000 miles is fine for synthetic oil. And maybe it is, in a perfect world, in a laboratory, in a test engine running at constant speed and temperature. But you don't live in a perfect world. You tow things. You sit in traffic with the engine idling. You make short trips in cold weather where the engine never fully warms up. You drive on dusty roads. You hit the throttle hard when you merge onto the highway. All of that breaks down oil faster than the lab tests suggest. At 4,000 miles, my oil still looks decent when it comes out. It's dark, but it flows well and doesn't smell burnt. At 7,000 miles, it's black and smells like it's been through a war. That tells me everything I need to know. I've cut open my oil filters at every change for years. At 4,000 miles, the filter media is dirty but not saturated. It's doing its job. At 7,000 miles, I've seen filters that were completely packed with debris. The bypass valve was probably open, letting unfiltered oil circulate through the engine. All that stuff was wearing out my bearings, my cam, my lifters. The cost difference between 4,000 mile changes and 7,500 mile changes is maybe $150 a year. That's 3 extra oil changes. The cost of an engine rebuild is $8,000 to $15,000. The cost of a new truck is $50,000 or more. I'll take the extra oil changes. And I always use a quality filter, Mopar, Wix, Napa Gold. Never the $3 bargain bin special. A cheap filter is a false economy. It lets more contaminants through, and those contaminants wear out your engine from the inside. You can't see the damage happening, but it's happening. Thing number 2, transmission fluid, every 50,000 miles. This is the one that saved my current truck. After losing my first Ram to a transmission failure, I swore I'd never let it happen again. So I started changing the transmission fluid every 50,000 miles. Not 100,000, not lifetime, every 50,000. Drop the pan, replace the filter, refill with fresh fluid. Inspect the pan for debris while it's off. Quick thing, if you're getting value from this, hit subscribe. I put out videos every week to help Ram owners avoid expensive repairs and make smarter buying decisions. Back to the transmission. The fluid in your transmission does more than lubricate. It's hydraulic fluid that actuates clutch packs. It's cooling fluid that absorbs heat from the torque converter. It's cleaning fluid that carries away wear particles. It's doing 4 or 5 jobs at once, and it's doing them in an environment that reaches 200 degrees or more. Over time, it breaks down. The friction modifiers get depleted. The fluid gets contaminated with microscopic metal particles from normal wear. The viscosity changes. The fluid that was protecting your transmission is now slowly destroying it. Fresh fluid keeps everything working the way it should. Old fluid lets clutches slip, seals harden, and wear accelerate. You won't feel it at first. The shifts might get slightly harsher. There might be a tiny delay when you put it in drive. Most people don't notice until it's too late. My transmission has 450,000 miles on it. Original, never rebuilt, never even had a hard shift. Smooth as the day I bought it, because I changed the fluid religiously. The 68 RFE transmission in Ram heavy-duty trucks has a reputation for failure. Forums are full of guys who blew their transmissions at 100,000, 120,000, 150,000 miles. But when you dig into those stories, there's almost always one common thread. They never changed the fluid, or they changed it once at 100,000 miles and thought they were good. Keep the fluid fresh, and that transmission will outlast most people's expectations. A fluid change costs $150 to $250. A rebuild costs $4,000 to $8,000. This is the easiest decision you'll ever make. One more thing, don't flush it. Don't let the quick lube place hook up a machine and force new fluid through. That can dislodge debris and push it into the valve body, causing shift problems that weren't there before. Just drop the pan, change the filter, and refill. Do it again in another 50,000 miles. That's the Over time, those additives break down. They get used up doing their job. The coolant becomes acidic, and it starts eating your engine from the inside, corroding water passages, attacking head gaskets, destroying water pump bearings, eating away at your heater core. I flush my coolant every 3 years, regardless of mileage. Fresh coolant, proper 50-50 mix with distilled water, correct type for my truck. Most Rams use OAT coolant, the orange stuff. It's different from the old green coolant. Don't mix them. Don't mix orange with yellow either. Different coolant types have different additive packages, and mixing them can cause the additives to drop out of suspension and form a gel that clogs your cooling system. If you don't know what's in your system, flush the whole thing and start fresh. It's not worth the risk. I've seen head gasket failures on trucks with 80,000 miles because the coolant was never changed. The gasket didn't blow from overheating. It failed because acidic coolant ate away at the sealing surfaces for years. By the time it let go, the head surface was pitted and needed machining before a new gasket would even seal. I've seen water pumps fail at 60,000 miles because corroded coolant destroyed the bearing surfaces. The seal failed, the pump started leaking, and the owner was lucky they caught it before the engine overheated and caused even more damage. A coolant flush costs $100 to $150. A head gasket repair costs $2,000 to $4,000. A water pump replacement costs $300 to $600. Another easy decision. At 450,000 miles, I'm still on my original head gaskets. Original water pump too, though I keep a spare in the garage just in case. When you've got this many miles, you learn to be prepared for anything. Thing number 5, brake fluid flush every 2 years. This one is about safety as much as longevity. Brake fluid absorbs moisture over time. It's hygroscopic. It actively pulls water molecules out of the air. Even in a sealed system, water finds its way in through rubber hoses, past seals, through microscopic gaps you can't even see. That moisture lowers the boiling point of the fluid. Fresh .4 brake fluid boils around 450 degrees. After a few years of moisture absorption, that boiling point can drop to 300 degrees or less. Some really neglected systems test below 250 degrees. When your brakes get hot, hard stops, mountain driving, towing a heavy load down a long grade, that contaminated fluid can boil. Water turns to steam. Steam compresses. And suddenly, your brake pedal goes soft when you need it most. That's called brake fade. And it's terrifying when it happens. You press the pedal and it just keeps going down. The truck doesn't stop the way it should. Your heart rate spikes. You pump the brakes desperately. And you pray there's nothing in front of you. But here's the part most people don't think about, that moisture also corrodes your brake lines from the inside. The rust builds up where you can't see it. The lines look fine on the outside, shiny and solid. And one day you press the pedal and it goes straight to the floor. Complete brake failure, no warning. I flush my brake fluid every 2 years. Not 3, not when it looks dark, every 2 years without exception. At 450,000 miles, I'm still on my original brake lines. No corrosion, no leaks, no surprises. I've seen trucks half my age with rotted brake lines because nobody ever changed the fluid. That's not a maintenance issue. That's a safety issue. That's the difference between stopping and not stopping, between going home to your family and not going home. Flush your brake fluid. It costs $100. It might save your life. Thing number 6, letting the engine warm up the right way. I never hammer the throttle when my engine is cold. Never. Not once in 450,000 miles. When you start your truck, the oil is sitting in the pan. It takes a few seconds for it to circulate through the system and reach all the critical components: the cam, the lifters, the bearings, the turbo if you have one. The metal parts are cold. They haven't expanded to their proper tolerances yet. Everything is tight, and the oil isn't flowing the way it should. If you start the truck and immediately floor it, you're putting maximum stress on an engine that isn't ready. Cold oil doesn't protect as well. It's thicker. It doesn't flow into tight spaces as quickly. Tight tolerances mean more friction. You're accelerating wear on every moving part. This is especially critical for Hemis with the MDS system. Those lifters need proper oil flow before they're asked to work hard. The needle bearings inside them need to be bathed in oil. Hammering the throttle with cold oil is a recipe for lifter problems, the exact problems that give Hemis their bad reputation. But here's the thing, I don't let it idle for 15 minutes either. It's just as bad, maybe worse. When your engine idles, it doesn't build enough heat to burn off condensation and fuel contamination in the oil. The engine runs rich at idle, especially when cold. That extra fuel washes past the rings and dilutes your oil. The condensation from combustion doesn't get hot enough to evaporate. That stuff accumulates in your crankcase. It creates acids that attack bearings. It creates sludge that clogs oil passages. Here's what I do. Start because I saw them before they got bad. Most major failures don't happen suddenly. They build up. There are warning signs. Small leaks become big leaks. Small noises become big noises. Small problems become expensive problems. But if you never look, you never see them. I've talked to so many Ram owners who say their truck just failed with no warning. And when I ask questions, it turns out there were warnings. A small puddle they stepped over every morning. A noise they turned up the radio to cover. A smell they figured would go away on its own. The warnings were there. They just didn't look. They didn't listen. They didn't pay attention. 10 seconds. Every time you get in your truck, look underneath and check for puddles. Glance at your tires. It costs us nothing. It takes no time, and it will save you thousands of dollars and hundreds of thousands of miles. What I don't do. Let me tell you what I don't waste money on. I don't use fuel additives. Modern fuel already has detergents in it. If your injectors are actually clogged, a $12 bottle of Seafoam isn't going to fix them. You need professional cleaning or new injectors. I don't do engine flushes. Those chemicals can dislodge chunks of buildup and send them into your oil passages, causing blockages that weren't there before. If your engine has sludge, the solution is more frequent oil changes going forward, not a magic flush that might cause more problems than it solves. I don't use premium fuel. My truck doesn't require it. The engine is designed for 87 octane. Using premium in an engine designed for regular is just wasting money. The engine can't use the higher octane. It just burns it like regular gas. I don't pay dealer prices for maintenance. I found a good independent mechanic who knows Rams, and I stick with him. He charges half what the dealer charges and does better work because he actually cares about keeping my business. I don't skip maintenance to save money. Every dollar I save by skipping a fluid change costs me $10 in repairs down the road. Maintenance isn't an expense. It's an investment. It's the cheapest insurance you can buy. The real secret. Here's the truth about hitting 450,000 miles. There's no secret, there's no magic, there's no special trick that only I know. It's just consistency. Doing the boring stuff on schedule every single time. Not skipping services because the truck seems fine. Not ignoring small problems because they're not convenient to fix right now. My truck isn't special. It's a Ram with a Hemi engine and an automatic transmission. The same drivetrain that people say is unreliable. The same engine that forums say will fail. The same transmission that mechanics say won't last. But mine lasted, because I gave it what it needed. Fresh oil every 4,000 miles. Fresh transmission fluid every 50,000. Fresh differential fluid every 40,000. Fresh coolant every 3 years. Fresh brake fluid every 2 years. And a 10-second walk around every single time I get in the truck. That's it. That's the whole secret. Your Ram wants to last. It was built to last. The engineering is there. The capability is there. Your job is to give it what it needs. 7 things. That's what separates a 150,000-mile Ram from a 450,000-mile Ram. None of them are expensive. None of them are complicated. They just require consistency. Stop skipping maintenance, start paying attention, and your Ram will outlast everyone else's. If you want to know which Ram engines are worth buying in the first place, I broke down the 3 worst and 4 best right here. And if you want the complete list of mistakes that kill Rams early, watch this video. Thanks for watching. See you in the next one.